All right, today we are diving into a big one. We're talking about Changing of the Guards by Bob Dylan. This is one of his most monumental, cinematic, and famously complex songs. It's a true epic that's had people scratching their heads, in a good way, ever since it came out back in '78.
And boom, the song just throws you right in, doesn't it? Fortune calls. I step forth from the shadows to the marketplace. That's not just a line, it's a declaration. It's this feeling of stepping out into the open, a place that's both dangerous and, totally necessary. We're not just at the beginning of a story here. We're witnessing someone crossing a major threshold.
And that's really the heart of this thing, that cinematic feeling. The song plays out like a movie, for sure, but it's a weird movie, right? The scenes feel like they're cut together with dream logic. It's incredibly dense, really powerful, and honestly, a little confusing. So what we're going to do today is try to peel back some of those layers and give you a kind of framework for making sense of it all.
So where do we even begin? Well, let's start with the most obvious clue we have, the title, Changing of the Guards. What does that phrase actually mean?
Okay, so on the one hand, you've got the literal meaning, right? It's this formal, very orderly ceremony. But symbolically, it's carrying so much more weight. The title itself points to this massive shift in power, maybe the end of an entire era. And there's also this kind of unsettling idea baked in, that institutions just keep rolling on, but the people inside them, well, they're replaceable.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because you have this core paradox right at the heart of the song. You've got the appearance of order, of everything being fine, but the reality is totally different. The ceremony looks stable, but what's really happening is a moment of deep vulnerability. I mean, think about it. Why do you change a guard? Because the old one is tired? Because the system is exposed? The ritual is basically a mask for an underlying crisis.
Okay, so this tension between what things look like and what they actually are, that's a huge part of why the song feels so unstable. So let's dig into that a little more and see how that feeling is built right into the song's very structure.
And this brings us to the big question. Probably the one you had the first time you heard it. Why does this story feel so all over the place, so disjointed? The narrative just jumps from here to there. Different places, different people, different times, with no warning at all. It can feel like it's trying to be confusing. But what if that's the whole point? I think the answer lies in this idea of a visionary montage. See, the song isn't failing at telling a straightforward story. It's not even trying to. It's using a completely different method, one that works a lot more like dream logic. The meaning isn't found by following a plot from point A to B. Instead, you get the meaning from the feeling, the pressure that's created when two totally different images are just slammed right up against each other.
And we can actually break down how this dream logic works. First, those scene changes are meant to be jarring. That's on purpose. Second, who is our narrator? His identity is always shifting. One minute, he's just watching. The next, he's the main character. And third, the symbols are doing double, even triple duty. A queen isn't just one thing. Is she a playing card? A lover? A symbol of power? Yes, she's all of them, sometimes all at once. And that's what makes the song so incredibly dense.
Okay, so here's the key takeaway. Once you wrap your head around this idea of a visionary montage, you can suddenly see what Dylan is doing. He's layering these completely different worlds of meaning, one on top of the other, all inside this one song.
And this chart really breaks it down into three major ways you can look at this. There's the political reading, right? It's a song about corrupt institutions full of merchants and thieves. Then there's the spiritual reading. This is a story about a crisis of belief with all its talk of Eden, angels, and wheels of fire. And finally, there's the personal reading. This could just be Dylan himself making a huge statement about his own artistic rebirth, stepping out of the shadows back in 1978.
And all of this leads us to what might be the single most important point of this entire analysis. It actually forces us to think a little differently about what meaning even is.
So you see all these different interpretations, the political, the spiritual, the personal, and you can't help but ask, okay, so which one is it? Which one is the correct one? What's the secret key to unlocking this whole thing?
And the answer is there isn't one. The song is basically built to support all of them. It's like an artistic machine designed to let all these different readings happen at the same time. The magic isn't in some single hidden answer. It's in the way the song intentionally holds all these plausible meanings together. The ambiguity isn't a flaw, it's the main event.
And that really matters, and here's why. First, that ambiguity is the reason we're still talking about this song so many years later. You can't just solve it and move on. It also kind of forces us as listeners to be better interpreters. In a way, you could even say its fragmented style perfectly reflects how we experience the modern world. And at the end of the day, it just shows what art can do better than almost anything else. Capture that feeling of being in a huge transition without pretending there are any easy answers.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Is Changing of the Guards just a snapshot of a specific crisis back in 1978? Or is its real, lasting power that it gives us a language, a really complex and durable one, to help us understand the ceremonies, the crises, and the transitions that we are still living through right now?